Pete Checkley for Sample Library Review, and today I am taking a first look at PerfPerc Volume 2 from Performance Samples. I was lucky enough to review the first instalment, and I was really impressed by the different approach to sampling. Instead of traditional samples, all of the material has been derived from repeated performances, resulting in a more natural and human feel. The overall sampling was excellent, as were the playable roles, which sounded so natural. My only area for improvement was more instruments, specifically metals. Well, now the second volume has arrived, and this features over 15 new instruments, many with a world leaning. Continue watching to see and hear what PerfPerc Volume 2 has to offer. PerfPerc Volume 2 downloads at 2.98 gigabytes and is sampled in 48 kHz and 24-bit. There are over 15 new instruments, and included are performance source hits with up to 15 dynamic and up to 3 repetition speeds. There is bonus material of rainstick effects, there are multiple stage positions, and it's recorded in a hall with close and Decca mic positions. It is built for Contact 5.8.1 or above, and the full retail version of Contact is required. PerfPerc Volume 2 sells for $299. PerfPerc 2 is an extension of PerfPerc 1, so it has taken the same features and same ideas and added new instruments. So if we look at the instrument tab, we can see we have a cajon, which has been played by hands, conga, djembe, frame drums, gong drum, rainstick, shakers, taiko, tambourine, tupan, udu, and vibraslap. There is also a bonus folder that contains the rainstick effects. The GUI is unchanged, so we still have the same controls. The two different mic positions, the close and the Decca mic, we can blend those, mix those, change those as we wish. We have the align mic option, the Titan option. There is an 80 millisecond delay on this library, so if you press the Titan, it will make sure everything is completely on the grid. You could transpose, there is the round velocity, looseness, and also a pitch bend. When you combine all the instruments, you create these really cool ensembles, and they are really playable. So I've put together a really quick piece. It took just under 10 minutes, and I haven't really used any quantizing. The demo gives you more of a flavour of what the library is all about. So when you combine everything, and obviously I'd fix a few notes, I'd pan left and right and get a bit more stereo width, but you get the idea. The samples all work really well together. And bear in mind that's 5 different drums. When you add more, you can make bigger ensembles. I've loaded up the first instrument, which is the cajon, and obviously that's played by hands. Now, when I'm going to demo these, I will turn the mic off, so I do apologise for the key noise. I'm playing these on my MIDI controller, and just to get a feel of what it sounds like. So the drums as they stand on their own. And you can hear the blue keys and the green keys have different timbres, and a cajon, depending where you hit it, will have a different sound. Now, if I gradually speed up, you get these really cool performance rolls. Okay, so if you're doing rhythms like this, you can really go for these sort of cool, like going from single hits to rolls. Now, I'm going to play through some more examples. I'm going to turn the microphone off so you don't get the hitting of the MIDI controller sound. So that's all the instruments that are contained within PerfPerc 2. And I totally agree, there is more of a leaning towards world instruments. Everything is sampled really, really well, and it's all very, very clean. Now, the playable roles is something you're not going to find anywhere else. And it's so easy just to go from playing single hits and then sort of blending really, really effortlessly into this playable role. So that's still a really, really cool feature. Now, I am using my MIDI controller, and I'm not, you know, going crazy and just smacking it really, really hard. The highest velocity I got to was 120. So I've done a little recording where it goes from a low velocity to a high velocity using the Cajon first patch. So there you can really hear the dynamic range, and all the instruments have a really good dynamic range. So I was showing them off in those performance examples, but just getting the last 7, as it were, from 120 to 127, you can hear that real heavy difference. Now, the volume controls, you have the close mic and the Decca mic. So I'm back on the Cajon. Take the close mic out. Let's bring it back. So that's a really close, dry sound. If we had the Decca in with it, you get the sort of more ambience and sort of sense of the room it's in. And that's really, really important for blending with other libraries. Now, if I align the mics, you get a very sort of even sound, and we can add some stereo spread sort of with the 2 mics. So the tonal variation you can get just off 2 hits is very cool. Transpose, so that moves up and down the keyboard. Let's bring that down. And looseness. So when you're playing, you'll feel how the looseness changes. And you get some really cool human feel going on with that. Pitch bend. Get some cool effects with pitch bending. And the Titan will take away the 80 millisecond delay. So you will miss the start of the sample. And that's generally how the GUI works. If we just go onto the other page, we have the makeup. Now, I wasn't entirely sure last time what the makeup did, but I presume it's the output or global output. And then you can change the velocity range. So let's just go midway. And expand it, so no matter how hard I hit, you can hear my MIDI controller being hit there. I can't go above a certain volume. So it's just some additional controls that you could use. I would probably keep it down there because I'd like to have the entire velocity range. And there we have it, PerfPerc Volume 2 by Performance Samples. Now, my final thoughts are, with the first volume, Performance Samples, they showed such a high level of innovation. The idea of performance-based samples and these sort of cross-dynamic roles just made it so easy to create a human performance. And having set myself a little challenge of 10 minutes just to create something really, really small, it works really, really well. Didn't need to quantize, just had to use my ears to make sure it all sort of fit together, and it just does sound human. Yes, I would make a few changes, but less than 10 minutes and you got a really cool sort of percussive idea. So for any kind of media composer, movie composer, video games, this is really, really useful. The amount of times as composers we need to grab some world percussion, this will fill any gap that anyone may have in their libraries. So this comes highly recommended. Now, in terms of areas to improve, it's just progressing the series. It's doing really, really well. So I did say in the last review, more metals. There are some metals going on here, like tambourines, etc. I'm not even going to dwell on that. I'm just really excited to see what Volume 3 holds for us. Because as it stands, Volume 1, Volume 2 combined, you've got a really, really good percussive suite, which is broad, dynamic, and has a big range. Thank you so much for checking out our first look of Performance Samples PerfPerc Volume 2. Feel free to leave us a comment down below. What do you like about the instrument? Do you like the sounds? What do you like to see different? Would you use this in your workflow? Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and check out our other videos, and also head over to samplelibraryreview.com to check out the latest and greatest in virtual instruments. But above all else, have a great day.